Hello and welcome to another year of X to Interact. I'm Sam and I am here with Steven and Eric. Jeff is still in South Africa, so he was not able to join us today. It's the first episode of 2023, so we are going to be talking about our games of the year for 2022. But before we get into that, let me tell you where you can find all our wonderful content. For the audio podcast, you can find us on all your favorite podcast services. But if you want to see our beautiful faces, you can either tune in live on twitch.tv/xinteract or find us on youtube.com/xinteract, where you will also find all sorts of other fun videos that mostly Steven makes. If you want everything in one nice package, just go to podpage.com/xinteract for all the links you ever need and probably more than you want. Now, without further ado, let's get into our Game of the Year discussion. Boys, we are doing our top 5 games of the year each. So we will count down one by one, each go around, do our 5s, each go around, do our 4s, each go around, do our 3s, 2s, 1s. And in between 2 and 1, we'll probably do some, what's it called? Shout outs. Honorable mentions. There you go. There's the term. It was somewhere in here. Steven said it about 5 minutes ago when I was talking to him. So yeah, I guess I'll start easier that way. I'll start with my number 5, which is Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Forgotten Land. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe I'm the only one on the podcast that has played this game.
I would have to say that, yeah.
Probably. I don't know if Gaff played it.
Probably. Well, Gaff's not on the podcast right now. So
hey, yeah.
I was saying
very true.
Yeah. I was saying between you two. So, wait, yeah.
He played Kirby?
No, I don't think he did.
No, I don't know.
I don't think he did either way. But yeah, what a fun ass game. Like, I've never played a Kirby game, obviously. The only game I've played with Kirby in it before this was like Smash.
Yeah.
The Smash Bros. Games. Like, I didn't know shit about Kirby. Well, now I know shit about Kirby. And he's a fun little puffball. I guess this is different than other Kirby games. I've heard that. Don't really know what an actual Kirby game is, I guess. But this one's fun as hell. The level design, top notch. It's very, very creative with allowing Kirby to do pretty much whatever the fuck he wants. He can fucking suck up anything. The music's really good. Music's fun time. Like, if there's one thing I'm surprised at the most this year, it's just like the off the chain boss fights in this game. Like, they are ridiculous. Like, especially the final boss. The final boss, this game turns into Dark Souls for a second.
Ooh.
Obviously not as hard because it's still Kirby, but it's like hilarious. The final boss fight is crazy. Definitely not expecting that from this game going in. But yeah, really loved it. One of my favorite 3D platformers, I think now. And we might maybe get to another game that I'll say that about in a little bit. So,
yeah,
but yeah, this was a good ass time, and I recommend that y'all play it.
Well, the funny thing about Kirby, right, is that the boss fights have always been kind of unique, right? You have the big tree that everybody knows that blows you off the edge and stuff, and then shoots acorns and things like that. So even
there is that. Yeah.
So for a long time, Kirby bosses have been pretty dynamic. On stream now, you're watching like a Wild Bonkers is one, and like I'm doing like one of the earlier bosses. It's like an ape or whatever.
There's quite a few bosses. I don't remember them all.
Yeah.
There's also there's also a ton of like side stuff you can do. Like there's there's an arena that you unlock in your like little town. You build up your little town. Not really. You don't really build it up. It's there. But you unlock an arena at some point. There's like boss rushes and stuff. Pretty cool.
You're hitting him with soccer balls here. It's like a wand with soccer balls. Kind of. It looks like soccer balls, but they're probably bombs.
And like if I had to compare this to like Mario Odyssey, I think I like this slightly more.
Really?
Yeah,
That's high praise, man.
Maybe.
I love Odyssey, dude.
They're pretty comparable. Like they're different because Odyssey's more open, but
are you collecting things in this then?
What do you mean?
Like, is it just a go through the level and beat the bosses, or you're collecting?
There's collectibles. Okay. There's collectibles in each level. I think I want to say there's 2 sets of collectibles. There's like you save something. There's like these like creatures that you save throughout the levels, and then I can't remember the names of, and then there's a collectible that you also collect.
Gotcha.
So yeah, there's like a couple sets of collectibles.
Dude, I would play the audio, and I'm sure it's great, but Nintendo's kind of a stickler, so.
That is very true. That is very true. And there's all sorts of like different weapons and shit too. It's crazy, man. Kirby's nuts.
Dude,
all the different there's a shotgun. It's fucking insane. It blows people away.
Kirby has a shotgun.
Or like, I don't know if it's a shotgun. It's like a gun. It's just a gun, but it just fucking blows people away. It's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And then he gets his little sword and he's like, fucking going nuts with that shit. It's
dude,
fucking batshit insane, dude.
The Kirby's long since been one of my favorite like Nintendo mascots, honestly. But I think probably the one. But I shouldn't get to this year. Yeah. But I don't know.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
After watching some of this stuff and hearing you talk about it, I definitely will, actually. Dude.
Well, that was my number 5. We will toss it over to Eric for his number 5 game of the year of 2022.
So remember how I said I was gonna make a list, and then I never really did that because I was just so busy this week. Wow. But I do have my GG app pulled up here. I'm not gonna show it, of course,
cool,
so I can see what I did play. But I think for my number 5, it'll have to go to Pokemon Legends Arceus, however the hell you want to pronounce it. So if you know, last year that those Diamond and Pearl remakes came out, and as somebody whose favorite generation was Diamond and Pearl, those remakes were pretty much a letdown. They were not what I wanted from the remakes compared to like the previous remakes they've done for Pokemon, and they were pretty lackluster to say the least. So I was kind of disappointed in that, but then they announced Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is a different take on Pokemon, which takes place in the world of ancient Sinnoh. And so I was actually pretty interested in that because like the Sinnoh region in Gen 4, I would say is one of the more lore heavy regions in Pokemon, where there's like just like a whole bunch of backstory going on in there. And so it was pretty interesting to see like them to take this concept where in ancient Sinnoh, which in the game is called Hisui, that people in Pokemon they don't really get together. People are scared of Pokemon. They're like these ferocious creatures, which if you read into the Pokedex entries, pretty much are.
Yeah, they're terrible.
And like they're like scared of them. And so like you coming from it's not really a spoiler because it's in the first. It's in the first minute of the game. Like you're a trainer pulled from the future, and you're pulled into the past here, and so
That's what's kind of going on.
Yeah. You have a smartphone. You have a smartphone, you know, in ancient times. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I thought you just like fell out of the sky or some shit. I had no idea what was going on.
No, so it's like
this game bores the hell out of me every time I turn it on. So
I mean, that's not the story's not really the goal of it. It is the thing. So like, but you as like a Pokemon trainer from the future, like you have like the experience with Pokemon. I guess is what I say because like you know, Pokemon in the future compared to the past is different. But anyways. Instead of battling, you're like kind of focused on catching Pokemon this time around to build the first ever. I don't want to say the first ever Pokedex ever because I don't know if that's ever confirmed, but like the first Pokedex in the Hisui region, and the way that this game is like structured is way more interesting to me than like all the previous Pokemon games beforehand. I'm gonna exclude Scarlet and Violet because I haven't played that yet, but I would say that this game caught my interest a lot more than like Sword and Shield did, or like or Generation 6 did. And so like I've actually like caught this is like the first game where I actually caught them all in the game, where I actually completed the Pokedex.
That's the goal.
That's actually the goal. That's literally the goal you get in the beginning of the game, where you're on your phone. It's like seek all Pokemon, and I did that, and it's pretty fun. I like how you don't have to immediately go into battle to catch a Pokemon. You see it in the field, you just throw the Pokeball. Love that. Really wish that was back in Scarlet and Violet. Seems like it's not in there, unfortunately.
Wait, where you just throw the Pokeball?
Yeah, or to catch Pokemon.
Oh, not to just catch it. Like you throw your Pokemon at the.
Yeah, but I'm talking about just
there.
like if you see like a fucking level 2 Starly right there, you just fucking throw the Pokeball. You
I know,
catch
but
it.
you're not fighting anything that
you
way.
You see a level 2 Starly, bro. You just gotta chuck a ball at it.
Yeah, I'll get to.
I think like something like that. Just like it's a small quality of life thing that I enjoyed from the game, because in traditional Pokemon games, it's always okay. You see a new Pokemon, all right, go into the battle, all right, throw a Pokeball, or if it doesn't work, whittle them down. In Legends, and I'm just like, oh, I see the Pokemon there, throw the Pokeball, catch it, done, moving on. And I just love how that was, and like you're incentivized to like catch multiple Pokemon too for the Pokedex, where if you want to complete the entries, it's like, oh, catch 5 of this Pokemon, or see this Pokemon do this move like a certain amount of times. And it's like really interesting. And then even though battling is not the main focus of the game, I did like how the battling was different from traditional Pokemon games, where it kind of felt like a more traditional RPG where you can like either do a strong attack and you can do more damage, but your next turn will come later on, or you can do quicker attacks and you'll get to go again, but those attacks do less damage. It reminds me of Final Fantasy X, where if you ever played that game, the turn order in that game is based on like your speed stats, the how fast your moves goes out. It's and like you see it all on the list at the top right corner of the HUD. And so I liked just how different this game was. I kind of wish they did more with it. I was really hoping there would be DLC or something for this game. It is kind of weird that they put this game and Scarlet and Violet out in the same year. I mean, like, it's a little, I don't want to say baffling to me, but like, you can like kind of tell that Scarlet and Violet did need some more dev time. And so, like, I wouldn't have minded if they came out with Legends Arceus this year and then next year was Scarlet and Violet, but that's a whole different topic. Legends Arceus is my top 5. Um, Obviously, I didn't go into the stuff like the graphics and performance and stuff. Like it's I would say
it's better
performance wise, right? It's Scarlet and Violet, but like I hear people say graphics wise, it's not. And like I haven't played Scarlet and Violet, so I can't really compare the two. Scarlet and Violet does look nice, but like I don't have the hands-on what's the word, experience with it. So
I'm
Legends Arceus number 5.
Playing both, I can confirm. Like, yeah, that's the case, right?
Yeah. And I just, like I said, love the Sinnoh region. Gen 4 was my favorite. Remakes were a letdown. This made up for that, in my opinion.
Cool.
Though next time you do remakes, do better. Don't just do a 1-for-1 copy like last time.
Right. Agreed.
All right. That was Eric's number 5. Let's go to Steven for his number 5 game of the year,
number
2022.
5. My number 5. Now this one, look, I mean, there were a lot of games I played this year, so it was kind of hard, right? There were a staggering amount of games that I tried out this year and stuff I got into. 2022 was really awesome as far as games go. I wish it was a little more paced with like the bigger releases, personally, because we had some big ones at the beginning and at the end, but like kind of in the middle, we didn't have a whole lot. Number 5, though, is Vampire Survivors. Oh, this game was very hard to put at number 5 because I played, I don't know. Let me set up a situation. You start a game.
How much have you played on your phone? Like I have to ask that. Have you played a ton on your phone?
I may have like 15 hours on my phone. Just saying.
I have been like every time I sit down and like watch a hockey game, like I'll just put Vampire Survivors on, you know?
Yeah, dude.
You don't have to pay too much attention to it. Like it's a fun game. Just like chill out. It's perfect for mobile.
That's the thing, right? And I've moved like all of my stuff, all of my focus to the mobile one because I can just like clip it in, use with the controller or whatever, and go. Like it's just right there.
Did you see they're trying to add cross saves to mobile and PC version? So That's gonna be
mobile and PC, not Xbox.
Oh, I don't know which version it is. I think it just said they're implementing crossplay. I don't think that's the specific version.
Oh, you're just saying like it.
I've never played PC.
I'd assume it's PC and mobile. You know,
yeah,
that's the just.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. It's just, yeah. The situation started like this. Oh, Vampire Survivors is cool, and I think it had to have been Jacob, right? Because as he's the hype man for trying new video games in my book. So he's like, dude, you gotta try this. And he was streaming it, and I'm like, wow, that looks kind of fun. So I played it a little bit after, and so I played on the Friday. On that Saturday, I spent the whole day playing it. Like probably close to 15 hours just that day. Like getting almost everything unlocked. I mean, you can probably do it quicker. I guess if you're better at the game or whatever, but yeah, it incentivizes you to explore and incentivizes to find secrets, try out new combos. Items compound on each other and level up themselves, so that's really cool. And then combinations, obviously when you get the right combinations, it makes for, I don't know, it's just like a whirling tornado of different abilities going on, and that's just fun to see. Like, and all of the loot, I didn't even start on the chests, man. The chest animation when it opens up, look, after a while, okay, look, I'm gonna say probably after like 40 hours ish playing the game, right, total, that the chest animation does get unwieldy, right? But
I did figure out how to skip it on mobile.
Yeah, you can skip it, right?
Skip it.
I still have not figured out how to skip it on Xbox, but I figured out on mobile.
B,
yeah.
Just B, yeah, it's a B.
I swear I do that and it does nothing. I swear.
Maybe Xbox is behind on updates. I don't know.
No, and then
it's always been B.
Did you get, okay, I guess spoilers, did you get the secret level, Sam? The one where you have to run to the end of the hallway and
no.
That's like one of the last levels.
Yeah, dude.
No, I haven't gotten that yet. I still haven't figured out. So I killed the boss of I made it to minute 31 on, I think, the Mad Forest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the one I did, and I have not been able to figure out how to do that on any of the other levels. Like, I just die immediately. Yeah, like I don't know how I did it, but the Mad Forest one, I just figured out. I just spun my carrot. Because I was on mobile, so I was just going like this with my finger.
Yeah.
And somehow that was able to kill him without me taking damage. Like, I don't know what was going on there, but like I didn't kill him, but I made it to minute 31. I survived till minute 31, and then another guy came in and fucking obliterated me. But yeah, I just spun my, but the other levels I can't figure it out.
Yeah, man. Right
now I'm just going through the unlock list,
Yeah, that's kind of, I don't know, like they do
for now.
I guess if I could distill it into why it's my number 5, and I don't know. I feel like if the other games on the list weren't really stellar, this would have pushed up higher. I feel like is in part due to how they incentivize the carrot on the stick so well, right? Just one more upgrade, just one more run. Like, I can make it one more minute further in this one if I do maybe this and this, and it's always rewarded. So I just feel like my lizard brain is being tickled in the right way. So yeah, I'm a sucker for I guess short-term incentivization, but yeah, Vampire Survivors, my number 5.
Yeah. Shout out to Vampire Survivors, because I forgot to put it in my GG app list. Did not cross my mind. But like you're saying, Steven, this game is fucking addictive as fuck. Like, when I first got that Steam Deck, everyone's like, oh, Vampire Survivors is the game to get. Vampire Survivors is the game to get. And I'm just like, all right, I guess I'll pick it up and try it out. And like that first minute or two, I'm just like, what is this game? Like, why is everyone hyping this game up? And then you go deeper in, and you're like, oh, okay, now I see what's going on with this game here.
Shout out to Vampire Survivors, who I just added in my top 10 because I also forgot.
I know, and it kind of got snubbed, man, in for Game Awards, and so it was kind of.
If we're doing top indie awards, I'll give it a top indie though.
If we did top 10, it would be my top 10. It's not my top 5. That doesn't change that, but
okay.
Yeah, the fun game though, fun game. So I guess I will go ahead and do my number 4 game of the year for the year 2022, which is a pretty late entry. I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the one of in my top 5 that I played the latest in the year. And it is called Citizen Sleeper.
Ooh, yes.
I know we had last episode we had Matt Storm on here, and he talked about this game and how good the writing was. And let me tell you, that dude was right. Citizen Sleeper, awesome. Like the writing is so good. For a game that is like only text, there's no obviously no voice acting or anything. For a game that's like that, making me feel like attached to some of these characters. There's this, for example, there's this like father and daughter that you find like on this. I guess I'll introduce the premise of this thing. Essentially, you're an avatar, but like a robot, I guess. So like in this, you're on a space station. You're pretty much on the verge of death, and you are essentially a robot that has the consciousness of a human uploaded to it, and that human is sleeping somewhere. Like that human signed a contract with one of the space corporations to where they use him to upload to robots to go do like jobs and shit. So he's like the human is somewhere like sleeping in a pod of some of like a cryopod, essentially, I guess, in stasis at this company's headquarters. But then you're the robot that person, whoever it is, his consciousness is uploaded to. So that's why it's called Citizen Sleeper, because like you're sleeping. So in this game, you're essentially just trying to survive on this space station that you have. At the beginning, you're on the verge of death. You're trying to survive. There's like you have dice rolls every cycle, which is like essentially a day in the game. And so you get, depending on how you have condition and energy. And so condition determines how many dice you get each turn, but your condition decreases every by the section every cycle. And then your energy you can fill up during the cycle by like going to a bar, getting food, going to the medic or something. Well, actually, no, the medic, you can buy stuff, increases your condition, which helps. Yeah, all sorts of stuff like that. But the real like, what's that?
Sorry, I was gonna say like it's a real concern, right? Like having food and things like that. It's
so like at the beginning, you're like, man, this is gonna be rough. Like this is rough. But once you like, I feel like it has a really good sense of progression where you like you meet different people that hook you up with like different jobs and stuff, and that really helps you like kind of solidify yourself on the station. And then there's a bunch of different endings that you can lead up to with the quests you do. But the whole premise is that the driving force for you to like do things is that after a certain amount of cycles, they're going to send like a bounty hunter essentially is going to arrive and kill you, because the company that has the body, like you're supposed to be dead, essentially. Like this version or this robot that you're playing as, or AI, whatever you want to call it, that has the consciousness of a human uploaded to it. That version of that is supposed to be dead, and so they're essentially sending a bounty hunter to recover their property. And so like you have like a bar there's like a bar that fills in, and it shows you how many cycles you have left until a bounty hunter arrives. Who knows what would happen if that fills in? Maybe I don't know if like that's one of the endings, probably. Like initially you have a bar that fills up and a bounty hunter does show up, but you're able to like kind of deal with him. But then there's another one where like a whole like group of bounty hunters or something. It seems like that was probably a lot more like if this fills up, you're like dead, and that's going to be the ending that you get. But I don't know. That's not the ending I got because I'm a badass. All right, I figure out how to survive on this station. I essentially got to like the way I played it. I got to like all the endings essentially. I rolled credits on this game like 4 times because I got like I'm pretty sure I got to all the endings, but like picked to. I don't want to spoil them the endings. But essentially I picked to not I picked to just stay on the station and like continue living my life.
Yeah.
Opposed to some of the other choices you end up having. Yeah, there's this father-daughter character that is like or characters that I think is the best story in the game. It's super interesting. And like my ending with them was very emotional. And so for like a game that's like only text-based writing with no voice acting or anything, the way they're able to like evoke emotion emotion is really really great. But yeah, I think it probably has some of the best writing this year. And like it's just a nice short like sweet experience. It's not too long. You're not going to spend a ton of time in with the game. And I know there's some DLC coming because I think there's 3 DLC that are like part of this mission. And so 2 of the 3 have come out. So I didn't start that mission. Like I have it in the game where I could go start it. But I didn't start that because I'm just gonna wait until all 3 episodes are out. But yeah, really, really enjoyed Citizen Sleep. It's pretty crazy. It was a big surprise for me. I didn't think I was enjoyed it as much as I did. Yeah, Citizen Sleeper number 4. Let's go to Eric with his number 4.
All right, number 4. Let's see what's on my GG app. Because I really only have my top 3 that I know of. My other 2 are like,
Perhaps.
I'm like leaning on 2 games here, but like, I think I will go with Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. Now, I like this game, but I do have some issues with it. But let me go into the likes first, because it's top 4, so obviously I need to like something about it, right? Nah. I can hate the game entirely. It'll be top 4. I hate this game. Top 4. 3 Hopes. So Nintendo likes to do Warriors spin-offs for their game. Hyrule Warriors did it. They did 2 of those, I'm pretty sure. They did another Fire Emblem Warriors game back when the Switch launched. And then this is their newest entry of like their Warriors spin-off game, 3 Hopes. So this one is more based off Fire Emblem 3 Houses, which I fucking love that game. I put in an ungodly amount of hours in that game. I think it was 2019 at this point. I can't really remember. But this game takes place in that world. It's like an alternate timeline where you're playing as this mercenary that the main character of 3 Houses, I believe it's assumed that they killed in that main game, even though you never really see it. So you're playing as that mercenary who basically should not have lived in that game. And then you basically take the role of the main character from 3 Houses. Like they become in 3 Houses, you become the teacher for the kid at this monastery. While when you're playing as this character here called Shez, you basically become a student at the monastery. But Byleth isn't there to teach anyone. It's a long alternate history that if you've played 3 Houses, you know like what the difference. Anyways, and so same premise as 3 Houses kind of happens here. You can choose which class you want to be in, and then the story will play out depending on which class you go through. I've only did 1 route this time instead of 3 because 1, this game's fucking long as fuck. I'm telling you that right now. And 2, the Warriors gameplay did get a little bit monotonous towards the end of the chapters. So I was like, I'm just gonna do 1 playthrough. Not gonna do all 3 routes. It's just too much. And so I went with the Black Eagles route again. That was the first one I did in Three Houses, excuse me. And even though this is Warriors combat, there is like a little bit of the Fire Emblem like strategy you put into here. So you have like, I don't know where in the gameplay you're showing it's going to be in Steven, but
just the
there is
prologue right now. So
yeah, there's a map you can pull up, and it's like grid like, and it's basically like a tactical map where you can like send your units to other spots. You can direct them from there. You can assume control immediately if you need to. And like
Assuming
the whole
control.
assuming control and the whole Fire Emblem like strategy happens in there. Like if you're playing as a swords character and you're facing against, I think it's a lance. I always get the weapon triangle mixed up. If you're playing against a lance, you'll have the disadvantage, and like stuff like that does factor in a little bit. But like even though it's real time, so you can like get through that kind of stuff instead of like the turn-based system of traditional Fire Emblem games. Um, I just like spending more time in this world. I think of the few Fire Emblems I've played, I do think like the Three Houses kind of world is like the most fleshed out one with a whole bunch of story and like lovable characters and stuff like that. So it's one that I really enjoyed going back into, even though like the whole three routes thing was not, I was not gonna do that again. Just way too much going on in this game, and like I said, like the Warriors combat did get stale after a while. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the world of Three Houses. And yeah, that's really it. I don't know. I just like in I don't really want to go into story stuff because like you guys don't really know much about Fire Emblem. Yeah, Steven,
right.
you're seeing here
What?
that you can like direct you can you can give AI party members orders to tell them what
So
to do, or you can assume control and stuff like that. So it was pretty fun. Um
so similar to other Musou games where you can send like
yeah, basically,
generals and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
That's basically what like how Muso games do that. Um I would say like that the whole Muso genre has been evolving. I would say like I haven't played many of them. I've played Persona 5 Strikers, I've played Hyrule Warriors, and then I've played this one. And like from what I've seen, they're like instead of like being the IP in a Muso game, it's more like if the IP took on Muso combat. If you kind of get what I'm saying,
Yeah.
where where they feel more like the original IP more than a Muso game, basically. And I
Which
guess
is
that's what kind of draws me in more to like than like the Dynasty Warriors kind of stuff, where or the earlier Fire Emblem Three Houses or the earlier Fire Emblem Warriors, where it's like just a Warriors gameplay, or the first Hyrule Warriors, where it's just like, all right, here's Muso, but with a Zelda skin slapped onto it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
These ones feel more like the actual IP with Muso combat.
Which is kind of what you want, I feel like.
Yeah.
So
Like if you told me I would enjoy a Muso Persona game, I'd be like, you're crazy. Like when they first announced Persona 5 Strikers, I was like, oh man, a Muso Persona? Like, is that really what anyone wanted? And then I played it, I'm like, oh no, this is a good game. This is they've nailed that Persona style, they've nailed the Fire Emblem style in this game, and so I enjoyed it. And yeah, that's my number 4.
nice.
Now, is Persona 5 Strikers better than Mario Strikers? And how do those two
Probably
connect?
yes. Yes. They connect by being, two games made in Japan. There you go.
All right, let's go to Steven with his number 4.
Number
Game of the
4.
year.
Game of the year number 4. This one pushed its way onto my list a little bit further in the year than I expected. But it's Rogue Legacy 2. I loved the original, and so obviously I feel like by extension I love this one, but it's so much, how do I say, it's so much better than the original. Obviously they had more tools to make things just a lot better, but it just builds on Rogue Legacy 1 in all the right ways. Animation is just so much better than the original, which was already good, but like, I don't know, the shadows and the fluidity and just the care that went into each bespoke like part of the characters, especially. There's depth to the scenes, even though it is just 2D. So the lighting, like, I don't know, with HDR, this game friggin' sings. So I've never had a game like that I've wanted to play so much more than that I hated but also like loved. It's kind of like these roguelikes, like all of them I feel are kind of that way, where you're tearing your hair out, but then you're like, well, okay, at least I unlocked this. And that's what it does, right? Like right here, they're unlocking the barbarian class, and there's this huge skill tree that you're going through. And it's like you're building a mansion inside of the game. Let me see if I can get the actual like part where it's building the mansion out, because it's interesting to have that physicality from where is it? From upgrades, right? Where did that go? Right.
I saw you beat that one boss. It looked, dude, it's crazy.
There's just,
I saw you die a lot too.
Yeah. So that's what it is. It's, it's punctuated by beating those bosses. And the bosses in this game, I think what pushed it over and up for me, they're just so dramatic. They have opening cutscenes and things like that. And it kind of reminds me of similar to like a Dark Souls game, right? Where they set up the scene really well, and it's ominous, and they're very, very difficult, but very well designed. I don't think I've played a game with gameplay, tighter gameplay this year, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Everything is just exactly the way you want it to act. And in the first one, it was a little bit more floaty. Again, that's kind of what pushes it over the first one for me. Upgrades, carrot on the stick. It's got all the roguelike stuff that you expect from those things. And yeah, I don't know if you've gotten even a remote interest in platforming or action games, or I feel like it's worth a try, because while it might seem daunting at first because you die pretty quickly right off the bat, there are things you can do like health upgrades, unlocking different classes, and not every class is for everyone, but I do think that this definitely is a sort of sleeper for 2022 for a lot of people. So yeah, Rogue Legacy 2, my number 4.
All right, I will go to my number 3.
Top 3, baby.
Which is the other game I'm going to say is one of my favorite 3D platformers. And it's a Tinykin.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness, this game. Like, all right, so let me tell you. We're in the top tier now, all right? So like top 3 are my top tier of this year. Then there's a little gap between like Tinykin and Citizen Sleeper.
Right.
Tinykin is so good. Like, I had so much fun with this game. One of my favorite moments this year in gaming was when I first entered the toy room. I was losing my mind. It was on stream. Y'all can probably find it somewhere. I don't know. It's probably still there. It was nuts. This game like just oozes charm. The level design's great, and I've said it before. I'm a sucker for like being tiny in like human environments, like Honey I Shrunk the Kids and stuff like that. Love it. And that's very much this. I just think that the level design's really creative. Each room, there's something really cool going on in each room. I think the first room that you go in is probably like the least interesting.
Yeah.
But even that room is really awesome.
I have it on the toy room right now. So
oh yeah, the toy room far and away my favorite. There's like there's essentially what is a Hot Wheels track in it. That's what I was losing my mind over, because you can like see the beginning of it in the room before you enter it, and I noticed that it was like a Hot Wheels track, and I was like, oh my god,
that is super cool.
This last room is going to be a toy room. This last room is going to be a fucking toy room.
Jacob says the bathroom was fun.
Oh my! The bathroom is my second favorite. The bathroom's awesome. There's like there's like toilet paper forts. Oh my god, it's brilliant. And then for about half of this, I thought like the collectible that you were like collecting, I thought was popcorn. I don't
Is it
know
not
why.
popcorn?
No, it's pollen.
Oh,
what?
okay.
It's fucking pollen. I don't know why. Like, because I went and talked to some dude who was like talking about pollen, and I'm like, oh my god, it's fucking pollen, not popcorn. Are you kidding me? This entire time, and like they say it like numerous times that it's pollen, and it just never crossed my mind. I thought it was popcorn. Like for probably like 60, like 2/3 of this game, I thought it was popcorn.
That's wow. I can't believe it's pollen. I thought it was popcorn too.
Yeah. I like from a gameplay perspective, awesome. You have this little you fucking can slide around in a bar so
yeah.
I mean, come on. Fucking genius.
Dude.
It's fucking awesome. And it feels really good. I think it's some of my favorite like platforming. Like I never really like had issue with like I was always going where I wanted to go. There might have been a couple times with like collision on certain things that was a little weird, but
Yeah.
yeah, oh my god. I like just in my head right now, I think this might be my favorite 3D platformer. Trying to think of other ones.
Huh.
Like maybe Sly 2.
No, it's just
maybe, like is above, but
so charming too, man. Like it's
oh my god. I'm gonna be thinking about this game for a long time.
It's just happiness, right? Like how do I explain that otherwise? Like it's just happy. Like you fun, you know? There's not really fighting, right?
So you got your little tiny kid. No, it's just like, collecting everything, solving puzzles. There's all the different types of tinykin. You have your bombs, you have your
we saw like platform ones that right now, like ones that you stack up against each other to make like stairs.
Oh yeah. I forgot about those ones. Yeah. And then I'm trying to think if those are the same ones that. No, I think those are different ones. There's ones that you can like stack on top of each other that you can like climb as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what are the blue ones? What do the blue ones do? Trying to think what the blue ones do.
I can't remember what the blue ones do. No, there's a bomb one.
Yeah, the bomb's the red.
Yeah.
The blue ones do it. Oh, the blue ones, the electrical ones. The blue ones might be the electrical ones.
Yeah, it looks like I see that right here. I didn't notice them. There's like a bunch of electricity going on, and I'm like, what is that?
Yeah. So yeah, there's all sorts of different like puzzles like that. And there's like some side quests too, which was really really cool. And it's like all the dialogue's like super like corny and like.
Gosh, the Legos in it. Oh my gosh. This is cool, man. I didn't see that. Man, I'm gonna have to beat this game.
The toy room is so good, but yeah, who said the bathroom was the
Jacob had said the bathroom was
dude. The bathroom was off the chain. That bathroom's so cool because then there's like a bathtub that you like like if you do this one quest, you like start a party in. It's fucking awesome. It's so good. So yeah, Tinykin, baby, Tinykin, number 3 game of the year for me. Let's go to Eric with his number 3 game of the year of 2022.
Top 3, I think, is a lot easier for me, I would say. But even saying that, it's still kind of hard because top 3, the order could shift around anytime, I would say. But I think for number 3, and this might upset some people, but number 3, boy, God of War Ragnarok. So everyone knows what the fucking God of War Ragnarok is. I don't gotta explain it.
Yeah.
Sequel to 2018. God of War 2018, you know. One of the most hyped PlayStation sequels, I think, in recent memories. I don't know what else to say about it without like spoiling it.
Yeah.
To be fair. So like I would say that they improved on combat in some places. Sam, if you know, you know, you know, you know.
I'm just trying to find a
There's a
place
certain
that
weapon
is not
Yes.
spoiler, is not spoiler. So maybe I don't know if it's possible.
it's just I'll talk about it in a little bit.
Okay.
It's good. It's just more, if you like 2018, you'll like God of War Ragnarok a lot.
This is a Nidhogg boss. I'm
in
watching.
comparison to 2018, I would say that I like 2018 more because, no spoilers, but I think there are a few pacing issues in this game that feels kind of weird after especially like after the fact. You're like, why was this game structured this way? But like, honestly, that's kind of like a little nitpick, to be honest, because like the rest of the game was just so good. Like,
oh, I see. Wait. I see Steven is like spoiling one of the better bosses in the game.
well, he's
way
the
to
one.
go. Way to go.
Well, people haven't played
Oh,
it.
you're spoiling. Yeah, there's a lot of spoilers.
I've spoiled. That's what I'm saying. There's no safe place I could have done to show. I don't think, because there's like dialogue interstitched. I think.
And then you don't need to show it. People know what God of War is.
Yeah.
I don't think that's that spoiler. I have no context for that. So.
No, there's definitely a spoiler in this fight. That's for sure.
Okay,
well, still one of the cooler.
I stopped.
Yeah, I would not show the rest.
Okay,
of that.
okay.
Yeah, I would not show the rest of that.
Okay, I stopped.
But yeah, just like the 9 realms are just like so cool to explore, and like the side quests are they are great. There are like a couple of side quests in this game where I'm just like, why is this not part of the main story? Like, this is like really good.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, I don't like I said, it's kind of hard to go into it like on why this game's so good, because like a lot of it is just like because of story and stuff like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Combat's good. Exploration is like pretty good because like the worlds are a lot more open around this time. And yeah, I have to get back to it so because like I haven't like played it ever since I beat it. Like I have to go back and like play more. Besides the story pacings and stuff like that, I still think this is a really solid entry in the God of War series, and like I'm excited to see what they do next. Like, I don't know like how the story is gonna go on. I know they said this is like the last game in the Norse saga, and like I kind of feel like this game should have been like another game at least, because like I'm saying, this the pacing issues. But yeah, I'm just like curious to see what Santa Monica's gonna work on next, since this is the last.
Sly 5.
Yeah, sure, but they're not the ones who made Sly, so like I don't know.
Yeah, maybe property doesn't matter.
Yeah. Maybe Sly 5 is a God of War Ragnarok kind of game. You know, you're just like beating up people. Get the cane. The cane is your it's the life
beating the shit out of people with fucking cane. The cane. Oh my god, that'd be hilarious.
Oh my god.
All right, well, let's go to Steven with his number 3.
Number 3 game of the year for me. Let's see. Well, now this is okay. Look, 3 and 2 were probably the hardest to keep in their places with each other. Number 1, I think, was more clear for me. I can't say anything, but number 2 and 3 were definitely. And I think I went 3 because 1 I have 3 I have not beaten all the way, so I don't know for sure. So 3 is Pokemon Violet. Now, yeah, glitches aside, weird stuff aside, which I have not seen. Look, I've played a good amount of this game, and I've not seen a lot of the weird shit I saw on the internet. Like, you know, like the Diglett thing and the some other stuff. Yeah, I haven't seen what people are talking about a lot, I guess, and so maybe that has helped my experience. I've pretty much only played on Switch Lite, so it's been portable most of the time. So performance, you know, is kind of annoying sometimes, and I think what I ran into with, like, you know, running into enemy or Pokemon that just appear out of nowhere, that's probably the worst of that for me. Otherwise, I don't have much negative to say about this game. Like, it's what I wanted in an open world Pokemon game. I guess pretty much what I could have asked for a very long time, honestly. everyone's seen Pokemon. I know there's like some spoilers. I was gonna pull up some gameplay, but
he won't spoil Pokemon Violet, but it'll spoil God of War.
What? Okay, I don't feel like seeing a small part of a boss fight is spoiler.
No, but there's spoilers in that boss fight. There are very much spoilers in that boss fight.
I don't think it was. But anyways.
Well, I'm glad you didn't notice them. As somebody who didn't play
I noticed
them, I'm glad
it
you didn't
immediately.
notice. But there are definitely spoilers in that boss fight.
Okay.
100%.
And anyhow, I just
we should probably blur that out in the video edit, by the way. Just saying. Just saying.
Anyhow. Back to Pokemon. I think yeah, Scarlet's open world. They do a lot of things to incentivize you to go and explore. And the biggest surprise for me was giving a shit about the story for a while. Now, I don't know. I wanted to know what happened to the characters, which is definitely a first for me. I guess kind of in Sun and Moon, right? But it was kind of, I don't know. I didn't give that much of a shit, to be honest, in Sun and Moon. In this one, I care about something that happens to someone's something, and that's all I'll say. Yeah. And
I give a shit about something that happens to someone's something.
I'm not gonna spoil it.
I don't know, man. It sounds like a spoiler to me.
Keen. It's too good. I can't spoil it. Come on. I can't do it. Yeah, I just, the way the things like you can upgrade your mount is really cool, and you can, dude, I want to say it, but I can't. But there's a cool Pokemon where you feed coins to level it up, and it's like a treasure chest, and that's really fun. They evolve on the formula in ways that are awesome while still keeping to the things that I do love, which is the gym battles and the Elite Four. And there's one of the gym leaders who's just like the normal type, and it's just like this working guy who's like, I'm on the clock, and he's got like a suitcase with him, and he works at like a restaurant. It's just really fun. Like the different characters they add and the dynamics they have with them, I kind of just gelled with the story they were telling. And I hope, yeah, if we were going forward with that formula, I think that's where they should focus on, is pushing the characters and making you give a shit about why you're going through Pokemon. Everybody's collecting them all. I know it's a game for kids. It doesn't need to be that deep, but like we could make it a little more, have a little more depth, right? Disney's shown us that, Pixar's shown us that you can have depth in those kind of movies and those kind of stories. So I think one thing I wish they would have had was voice acting, though. If that can be the next step, perfect, you know.
You're asking way too much for there to be voice acting on the Switch.
Give me 3 years for the next Pokemon game. Give me 3 years for the next one. That's all I'm saying. Have the team work on it longer than they did this one. Give them the time, because I feel like without all the negative glitches and things like that, this would have popped up on a lot more people's Game of the Years. Yeah, it's fantastic Pokemon game. If you love Pokemon, play it. That's all.
Shocking what happens when you sell a unfinished product.
Weird.
20 million sold.
How many?
20 million sold.
Pokemon fans are weird. Why?
Because it's a great game. Or
God, broken game.
It is broken, but
who am I to talk? I fucking bought Cyberpunk at launch.
Me too.
But actually, I had that pre-ordered, so I don't know if that counts. I was just let down, you know. I bought it before I knew about that shit. Let's get to number 2, and I am very glad. I am very happy to be sitting here as the first person to talk about this game. Number 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Oh, God.
what a what a game. What a gem of a game. The thing that really like carries this game is the side content, I will say. I like the main story as well, obviously. Um what is it? Chapter 4, the end of
Five,
chapter 4, beginning of
5,
chapter 5, or
5 and 6. Yeah.
5 and 6.
Oh my god, dude. Can I just like
Some of the most insane stuff goes on, and it's just so good. Like, it's so well done. There's a fucking song that plays.
Oh my god, dude.
There's just essentially a music video, and it's amazing.
They know how to tear at your heartstrings for sure. Like,
yeah,
it's
just it's one of those things where like, oh my god, yes, and you're like, no, yes, no, yes, no,
yes, wait, no.
and it just keeps getting worse and then better and then worse and then better.
And well, the gameplay, right? Like, go ahead.
And then, but yeah, so I obviously love the main plot. I think the ending, well, I think the bosses are really like kind of vary from very interesting to compelling to fucking, I don't give a shit about this boss. Um, just the like different Mobiuses. Some of them are like really cool and interesting, and then some of them are just like kind of there, and who gives a fuck. And like the final boss fight is insane and ridiculous. And I'm really glad I never died, because apparently you can't skip a bunch of it.
Big same.
But yeah, just like the villain in this game is not as I don't know. The like main villain is not I don't think is as good as the first game. Or even what's his face in fucking 2.
I don't know. I like him better
2,
than what's his face. Better than 2.
Not the final villain in 2.
Okay.
What's his name? Jin?
Yeah.
He's a good villain. Not fucking douchebag number 1.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even remember his name. Eric, what's his name?
Malos.
Yeah. Fuck it. Destroy.
Listen, we're not gonna get into spoilers here, but like the implications, all that stuff. All right,
get out of here.
Get
out of here with Malice. But yeah, like my like one I think issue with the game is the main villain. And it's not like a huge issue. Like I still like the main villain, just compared to the other, especially compared to the first villain.
Well, and
the main villain in the first game.
The supporting cast too, right? Like,
but yeah, that's what I was gonna say about like the side content and all like the supporting characters they carry this game so much. Like they're so good. One of my favorite characters is Ashira, which you meet pretty like decently late. I think she's one of the later heroes that you meet.
She's great, man.
My favorite character in the game. One of my probably my favorite character this year. I just really liked her. And then obviously I think Uni is probably my favorite of the main cast. And like I like all of them. There's not a single one in the main cast that I don't like, even though I like to shit on fucking Tyon because he's a nerd.
It's easy.
The combat, obviously, after playing it for so long, can get a little bit repetitive, but like I enjoyed it the whole time. I really liked the combat the whole time, even though I was super over leveled, so it was really easy. And like the chain attacks, even though most of the time I'd end up doing the same thing, you know, the chain attacks throwing a nice wrench there, and there's all different sorts of combinations you can do. And I do like how the different heroes have different abilities that will help with different types of enemies. Like one of them has like, if you're fighting mechs or whatever, you probably want a certain hero in your party because his ability is insane against mechs. So yeah, the combat can get repetitive, but liked it the whole time of the like almost 80 hours I think I put in this game. and I did pretty much. I'm pretty sure I did like everything you can do in this game, like story wise. I'm sure there's some like random shit I can do to upgrade the
fallen soldiers and things like that.
Yeah, there's like that kind of stuff. I obviously didn't do all of that, but from like story standpoint, I'm pretty sure I did essentially everything. All the side content, all the side stories and stuff.
Oh,
really fun. Eric disappeared. And then the music, amazing.
Oh, here, don't worry.
The music is amazing. I think this got snubbed at the Game Awards for sure for music.
Absolutely.
Or wait, did it win good music?
No,
God of War won music.
God of War won.
Yeah,
what a joke. Xenoblade's music is great. The fucking flute is fucking pops off in this game. All right, it fucking pops off in this game. And then the chain attack music, fucking hype as shit. I think I like the music in the first one a little bit more.
Hard to beat that though.
I feel like the main thing with the music in this game is like the idle music or whatever. Like when you're just kind of walking around environments, that music isn't as like popping as it is in the first one. Yeah, like the battle music is awesome. And the flute does some wild things in this game. Doing like cutscenes and stuff like that. That music, dope. The final song in this game, the final cutscene, fucking so good. And that final cutscene is
well, and the ending, right? It's so hard for some games to get the ending right.
Yeah, I think this game nails the ending. I really do think it nails the ending.
Your number 2, right?
So yeah, that's my number 2. I think that's all I have to say about it. Let me make sure. Let me check my notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's all I have to say about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. This will 2022. Wait, yeah, 2022 will forever be the year of the Xenoblade because it's when I played all 3 games. Liked 2 of the 3, hated 2. I don't even hate 2. I just don't like it that much.
I forget real quick. You didn't play Future Connected and you didn't play 2's DLC, right?
No, I hadn't played either of the DLCs.
Okay, well you don't really need to. So.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're good, but like from what I remember, nothing in those 2 ever gets referenced in 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And that's the other thing I do want to say. For a game that's like insanely, for a game that's like connected to the first game and the third and the second game in such a like insane way, this game does such a good job of like just being like a story.
Yeah.
Like without having to rely really on like obviously deeper like lore and stuff obviously heavily connects to 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
But just from like a story perspective, I think they did a really good job. Just like you don't have to play 1 and 2 to be able to play this game at all. Like it would like at all. And so like, you know, it avoids the MCU problem, which is becoming more and more of a problem in MCU, where you like all these movies are coming out and you miss a lot if you're not watching like all the movies, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think this game did a really good job with being like this crazy, like essentially crossover event, but not having, you don't have to play the other 2 games at all. Like you can straight up just jump into Xenoblade 3. But like obviously there's going to be some stuff here and there that's like
you might have questions about some things, but
yeah, but like for the most part, you don't need to play 1 and 2. I highly suggest you play 1.
Yeah.
But yeah. Xenoblade 3, number 2. Let's move on to Eric's number 2.
Okay. Number 1 and number 2. Now this is the one where I'm like, man, these 2 can switch places any time of day.
You keep saying that.
Well, at top 3 I said it. No. Number 1 and number 2 are for sure. I'm like, okay. Which one do
I agree with you. I will say that with my 1 and 2, I'm like really like I've gone back and forth between them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, any given Sunday, you know, I might say the other one. But
yeah. I think God of War would always have been my 3 just because like I think those story pacing issues are what like kind of brought it down a bit for me where it just kind of felt unfocused for a while. But the 1 and 2, oh man, I don't even know which one I want to go with. You know what? I'm gonna be different and I'm gonna say number 2 is the one game that won Game of the Year at the Game Awards. Bill Clinton, the Reformed Rabbi. No, obviously Elden Ring. I mean, like Elden Ring is like a fucking wild ass game.
Wild
First
ride.
of all, Sam, you got to play it.
Yep. Gotta do it, dude. Gotta do it.
Hey, man, I'll school. Yeah,
Keen is waiting. Keen's waiting.
Keen wants to play with you. I'll play with you guys. I'll do it.
Yeah,
I've heard mixed reviews.
Mixed
fucking
yeah.
like, oh my god, like what a way to start. Like obviously Legends Arceus came out earlier this year before Elden Ring, but like, after that, Elden Ring was just like consuming my time for like that first half of the year. It fucking, oh my god, that game is just fucking wild. Like who I like this is like the I don't know like how people will react to me saying if I think this is like the pinnacle of like the Soulsborne genre, fucking just like the way. Or you didn't say Steven?
I think you're right, man.
I think it's the pinnacle. I think like just like after you beat like the first main like dungeon, the castle, whatever. When you go out to the world and you like see almost the entire world on the horizon, you're just like, what the fuck? This thing is huge, and like it's just fucking like you can. People say open world games like if you can see it, you can go to it. In Elden Ring, it's true. Like you see it, you can go to it. If you're stuck on a boss, you can be like, all right, I'm not supposed to be here. Let me turn around, find someone else to fight, and then come back and beat this guy's ass. And like, oh my, this game, I need to look at my PlayStation and see how many hours I put into it. But I think I put like 80, 90 hours in this game. And like playing this game co-op with friends is just so much fun as well because we're just like, where did you see your friend have a piece of gear and you're like, where did you get that? You're like, oh, I wandered off to this place over here and I found it over here. And you're just like, oh my god, I gotta go over there and find it. Like, it's the same effect that Breath of the Wild had, where you can go out and find stuff and tell other people about it, and they'll be like, really? No way. Like, this is a definition of a game where you can like make your own story where your journey is set by the way that you want to progress. It's not the game holding your hand telling you where to go. It's you just trekking along, finding your own stories, making your own journey, and it's just so fucking good. So many like caverns you can walk into to find like these mini bosses and stuff like that. I mean, everyone will tell you like when they first walk out into the first area, the fucking tree sentinel.
Yeah.
What was the first thing I did? Try to go up and fight him. Get my ass kicked. Of
course, dude. Of course you fight that guy, you know?
And then you're like, all right, well, I can't beat this dude. So let me just sneak up around him and go to this little outpost right behind them where there's a merchant you can talk to. And like there was one point where I'm just like, I hit the tree sentinel and I'm like, oh, this is not gonna go well for me. Let me go to the outpost. There's a slight of grace there. This has got to be a safe zone, right? No, he fucking came in. He started destroying the outpost. I'm just like, oh my god, this is not good. It was just so funny. Where I'm just like, oh man, this safe spot I thought was safe is not safe at all, and like it was just so funny. Another one, the swamp near that same spot where a fucking dragon comes out of nowhere, and I'm just like, what the fuck? There's a dragon here. Just so funny. Everyone else will tell you the chest in that fucking swamp where you open it and it teleports you to some bumfuck nowhere on the map, and I'm just like, oh my god. And you have to, and you can't teleport out. You have to walk your way out of these enemies who can one shot you. You're just like, okay, how the hell do I get out of here safely? And then it's just so much shit like in here where it just like you're like, oh my god, this is fucking bullshit. But like it adds to, like the memorable moments in this game. It's just so fun.
The trap rooms, man. That's all I'll say.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say.
The fucking first boss, fucking I forgot what his name was, but Godwin. I think it was in the first castle, the very first boss scene there.
Was it Godric or
no God? I don't remember.
One of the two. Yeah, Godfrey. I don't know.
I think no, not Godfrey. I think Godric is the first one. He's the main boss of that place. Like the boss you fight before getting into the castle.
Oh, the one Margot.
Margaret. That's what it was.
Morgot or Margit, one of the two. I can't remember.
Fucking, oh my god! For being like the first like major boss you find in that game,
that's the wall, dude.
Kicking my ass.
That is the wall that breaks people, right? Or make you know, like if you.
And so, like, I think back in our when we were first talking about this topic, like, and way back then, like, by the way, one of our like most listened to podcast episodes on Anchor, accordingly, where with you, me, and Jacob talking about Elden Ring,
dude.
That was so. Back then I was like, oh man, this has got to be like the hardest Souls game, and I think it was just because of the fucking that boss right there, where I'm like, this guy is kicking my ass consistently, and it was so fucking hard. And then afterwards you beat him, and it's like, okay, now it's like general Souls difficulty. But like, yeah, it's just so fucking fun, and just like,
just general Souls.
There are peaks. There are peaks and valleys, right? And then there's one boss that's just a troll. That's just a troll at the end, and you don't need to beat this boss, but you. I
think generally the game is a little. It is easier than general Souls games because like you can go anywhere else on the map to like level up and stuff like that. I think it's just that one the beginning area where you really don't have much to go, and so that's why I think that first part was pretty hard. That's why I said it in the podcast back then. We're like, oh my god, this is the hardest one. But after that, it's smooth sailing.
Someone beat this with a dance pad, so it can't be that hard.
Oh my god, yeah.
Someone beat this with a dance. Someone did this. She did it. She was playing it on two screens.
Yeah.
She was playing it with a controller on one and a dance pad on the other.
So
and she beat
cool.
it. What the fuck? Who was the time to learn how to do that? I'm not even gonna be able to beat it with a controller on one screen.
Oh, you could do it. You got this.
No, you can.
And this chick's beating it twice at one time.
I think he could. I think he could beat it.
You can beat it. And,
God of War prepped you enough, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I probably wouldn't be able to beat Bug Snacks twice at one time. I probably wouldn't be able to beat a Lego game twice at one time. And you're telling me she can beat Elden Ring twice at one? Come on.
I did Guitar Hero 2 at one.
Anyways, back on topic.
Is she on like Adderall? Like she's Jesus. How would you be able to focus that much?
The amount of build variety you can do this game. You can beat this game in any build you want. You can be a sorcerer who stays the bumfuck back in the back.
Isn't that you? Are you a mage?
No, I was fucking like a hybrid, like melee and like face magic, basically.
Oh, so you're not as much as of a coward as I thought you were.
No, I did that in Demon Souls. Demon Souls mage breaks that game.
Demon Souls, you were a coward. Okay.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
There's no coward with Dark Souls.
Listen, the strength face build in Elden Ring. Strength face build, blasphemous blade. Ooh, that my god, I'm just like so good. But just the fucking boss fights in this game, like the main boss fights in this game are so incredible. Everyone talks about it. Rykard just fucking go into that volcano manor, walking up to his boss arena. There's a big ass sword in front of him. You pick that shit up, and then you fucking start swinging this fucking snake blasphemy dude, and it's just so fucking good. Fucking the second to final boss. I'm not gonna spoil who it is, but like in the arena before the Erd Tree. Bullshit! I'm telling you that right now. That fucking fight was fucking.
You talking about Stompy Boy?
Yeah, Stompy Boy. I'm just like this fight let me pull my hair out. But hey, it's a fucking good fight.
It was a good fight, yeah.
This isn't really convincing me to play it, if I'm being honest.
And then
yeah, it's the accomplishment though. You'll hear from it.
And then
sense of pride and accomplishment.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can't talk about Elden Ring without talking about Melania, who fucking
you can't.
I mean, you can't because she's the fucking hard.
If you've played it,
you played it, yeah. Isn't she like the hardest? Soulsborne, is she? I don't even know like what the
I think
category
she
was.
is. I think
people were mentioning like she is like one of the hardest bosses like in the entire game. And, like,
she's the one on the cover. So the game cover.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't have the physical copy, so yeah.
They knew what they were doing, man.
Is she on my EU version of the game that I have for some reason?
Who knows, dude?
Dude, my brother got the Spanish version of fucking Gotham Knights.
Like, it's where do you guys buy games from?
Right?
Amazon. I don't know. Amazon is sending weird shit. He got like the back, like obviously like the title's the same. Like it's still just Gotham Knights, and it like works fine. It's just like the back, all the text, the back of the physical copy is like all the text is Spanish for him.
That's great.
So weird,
man. But yeah, Elden Ring, man. I know the Coliseum DLC came out. Not really a big PvP guy, but like never hurts to try it. I'm just waiting for like whatever expansion they're going to come out with, if there is any plans for doing expansion, because I really don't know.
Does the Coliseum have Philatides?
No, probably not.
Telling you to get up on the Hydra's back.
Oh. Anyway, Sam, you, me, and Keen should start up. I'll be down to play Elden Ring again. I'll do a different build.
You could do it. I know you could.
Can I play as a jester who just like juggles while you guys do the fighting? Is that possible?
The one thing about Elden Ring is, I wish From Software would just get with the times with co-op. I just want to do the whole game co-op. Don't make me do this summoning thing that they do with all these games.
Dude, so many games have been co-op games I've played recently. I've just been like, what is this? Like the Final Fantasy Strangers of Paradise fucking co-op is bogus.
I guarantee you it's probably better than Soulsborne co-op.
I don't know. No, you're kind of playing down a little too far, I think. But
no. I'm talking about like the matchmaking system is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And how that works.
Not the actual gameplay.
Yeah, not the actual game. I'm talking about matchmaking.
Just seems like co-op is something that just companies just can't get right with games.
Yeah.
Many. Like Outriders was good co-op, I think. But like,
let me share progress if I'm in the same world. God damn it, that's what I'm saying.
Like, there is a mod on Steam where it's a seamless co-op, and like that's pretty cool. But like, obviously we all don't have game on PC.
Is there a co-op game coming out soon that was like that? It was like just announced that.
Is it Redfall?
That like only the hosts progresses or something? Is it Redfall? I don't think it's Redfall.
I don't know.
God, I hope Redfall's co-op is good.
Me too.
I hope that game's good. All right.
But yeah, that's Elden Ring. Play it, Sam. I'm telling you.
I'm sure we will not talk about Elden Ring for the rest of this podcast.
Oh no, definitely not.
Let's go to Steven for his number 2.
Okay, so this is gonna be short and sweet. Spoilers, I suppose. Xenoblade 3 is my number 2. You guys have, I don't know. I know Sam has spoken leagues about it. I commented as well. The story, cried like a baby for a while, you know. I guess not like a baby, just cried. Like it was impactful, right? What was happening in the game, and they do enough, I feel like, because I didn't play as much side stuff. I think I didn't go through all of the side stuff. I did do a good amount, but just basically like the critical things that I wouldn't miss, like certain bosses or things like that, you know. I didn't do the whole like farming thing or like
more potatoes, man.
More potatoes,
you mean the worst side quests in the game.
Yeah, and I was like, at that point, I don't know. It was.
Although is that the same quest that you hook up Juniper and what's his face?
Yeah, I believe so.
So you know you got that.
Yeah, true. Even
Juniper
then, right?
And what's his face? You know, they get together.
For being the worst side quest in the game, it's still pretty good. Like it's still a decent side quest, right? And so
it's not like terrible.
They're all multifaceted. It's not just like, okay, go fetch this thing. No, it's like, okay, there's a reason for me wanting to have you go and do that. Because it helps out this, and we're in need here, and it matters to this character, right? There's lots of that all the way throughout, and that's kind of like what big motivating force is to go and explore. And I don't know. What is it? Ashera? Is that her name?
Ashera, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely definitely my favorite character in the game. Yeah, for sure. Just the attitude that she has, like the warrior's attitude, and
yeah, it's just like super. It sticks out. It sticks out because everybody else is like, "Yo, why we got to die every 10 years?
Yeah, why are we killing each other?" And she's just
why
like,
we got to die? And then she's like, "Yo,
let's die gloriously." Yeah.
Time to die.
Some of the stuff that I remember most throughout this year, my most memorable moments of games are in this game, right? Like, obviously the prison part, I'm not going to say, where you're just like, it's torture, man. Like the characters are in duress and you kind of feel that in that moment. The music punctuating every dramatic moment or every exciting part is, whoever the composer and musicians in this like arrangement are, I would like to meet and shake their hands, all of them, because they did a really great job. And the things with flute I did not think was possible. So yeah, and the ending, right? Like these long games are so hard to nail the ending, and that's one of my bigger pet peeves with bigger, longer games, is that when you finally get to the ending, sometimes feels hollow, right? Like, okay, I guess I'm done with it, or whatever. I rolled credits, cool. I'll go back and I guess maybe sometime do the side stuff, but I'm not motivated. In this one, I want to go back. There was just games I had to get to otherwise.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then there is some post game stuff, like small post game stuff that's interesting and neat. For people who've played the other games, and for people who are looking for more. And I don't know, I just this one was hard to put at number 2, I'll say, with how much I enjoyed it. So yeah, Xenoblade 3.
Yeah, Steven, you mentioned the soundtrack, and like you said who the composer was. I'm gonna tell you one thing. Do you like Chrono Trigger?
I do.
Because guess you know who made that? The soundtrack for that?
Same person.
Same. Yeah.
No fucking
Yasunori
wonder.
Masuda.
No wonder, dude. Damn. Okay.
The final cutscene in that game is amazing. And like the first time when I was playing on stream, I was a little distracted because I was like being pulled away to like dinner and stuff. But then like I rewatched it, and I've watched it several times since then, and every time it's just like, oh my god. And you'll notice like you just notice like different things every time you watch.
I'm getting chills thinking about like what happens, like
and like there's a fist bump in the game. Like I don't think never in my entire life would I think that I get so emotional over a fucking fist bump. But there's a fist bump in the final cutscene of this game that just thinking about fucking breaks me. Like,
yes, absolutely.
It's just like, oh my god. But yeah, great game.
I gotta watch that cutscene again. Damn.
And it's a great fucking song. Oh my god. Oh my god. Number. Oh no, actually, before we go to number 1, let's do some honorable mentions. I will just count down my other top. I'll just say my 6 through 10 because I have them. I won't spend too much time on either. At number 10, I had High on Life. Really fun game. Surprised me how much fun I had with it. Number 9, Tunic. Good level design.
Yes.
Very obtuse though at certain moments. And the combat isn't as tight and fun as Death's Door.
Yeah.
8 was Stray. Lots of little details in there to make you really feel like a cat. I actually really liked the world building that was going on in this game. The music fucking is so hype in this game. Fucking jazzy techno shit. It's awesome. And it's visually interesting. And then number 7 is Vampire Survivors. Put that at number 7, which kicked out Horizon Forbidden West. Vampire Survivors number 7.
Yeah.
And then at number 6, a game that this is the one I really want to shout out, because I think it got really close to being in my top 5. And when I initially like finished it, I didn't think it was even going to be close to my top 5. But just like looking back on it and thinking about how like engrossed I was in the story and like what was going on in the game is Pentiment. Because the writing, I think is up there with Citizen Sleeper, which is like my favorite writing of the year. There's just this one moment that kind of overshadows like the rest of the game that brings it down out of the top 5, where you like kind of lose control of your character in a way that does not feel right with the rest of the game. And then maybe it's a little too long, but I was engrossed the whole time. And even like the last chapter or last act, I guess, at first I was like, oh, we're doing this now. But then once I started doing this now, I was like, oh, I'm like actually really engrossed by this. And this is still very interesting. I think there's several characters in this game that are really like, that are really compelling. It's got a really interesting take on like religion and stuff like that. And as someone who's atheist, that's very, very interesting. And then the art style, I mean, it's great. Like it's awesome. I really dig the like storybook type art style and all the
like the scrawling, right? On the pen.
All the different like fonts and typography for like different characters. Each they do a really good job like kind of like symbolizing how people talk,
like how correct
with the fonts they use. Yeah, and they like exactly. So like a lot of like the illiterate characters, like the peasants and stuff in the game, will like make a lot of mistakes. So they'll like have to like it'll erase the thing and then fill in a new thing. And then also like if you're talking to someone like super like if you're talking to like a priest or something that's like super proper and stuff like that, the font's a lot more like a lot fancier and stuff like it's just a really cool like nice touch. And the more I'm talking about this game, the more I feel like maybe it should have been in my top 5. But and you know, it's one of those games where I think the more I think about it, the more I like it, even and the more I'm able to forget the like one moment that kind of brings it down. And I probably talked way too long for a game that wasn't even my top 5. But those are my honorable mentions. And I would like to shout out a game called Rainbow Billy and the Curse of the Leviathan. It is not on my list because it didn't come out in 2022, came out in 2021, but I would like to shout that game out. It's fucking rad.
That's funny.
Eric, honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions.
If you have any.
Well, I really don't think I played a lot. So let's see. Honorable mentions goes to Splatoon 3. More Splatoon, more fun. Love the single player. Multiplayer, I'm gonna have to admit I kind of have fallen off of it, and I think that's maybe just because I've played so much of Splatoon 2, and so I guess like there was like nothing like really grabbing me for 3.
I feel like everybody was playing that game when it came out, Splatoon 3, and then it just like disappeared.
Yeah, I don't know.
Forgot about it until you just said it.
I don't know. I like it. It's just that something about it just not pulling me in as much.
Yeah.
Cult of the Lamb, fun little indie game. Building up your community. Combat was like not the greatest in it. I would say it just felt kind of basic, and so I kind of felt like it really didn't mesh the two as well. But people love it, so give it a shout out. Vampire Survivors, obviously, like the fucking GOAT. I'm shouting out here because it wasn't on my list before.
It's the fucking GOAT.
It's the fucking GOAT.
He says it's not even in his top 5.
The GOAT indie. The GOAT indie.
It is
it's the GOAT.
Sam's not gonna hate me for this, but Crisis Core Reunion. I know Crisis Core has its issues. I'm not gonna lie, but I appreciate Square for remastering this game because it was stuck on the PSP for fucking years, and so
I appreciate that as well. All right, I'll have you know, like I didn't like it, but obviously, if I like the more people that can play a game, the better. It's like whatever game it is. So
I played a bunch of the missions and got overpowered super easily that I two punched Sephiroth. So there you go.
Oh, that's always good.
It's very easy to get overpowered to beat the main story.
And magic is incredibly overpowered.
Yes.
Like I guess I don't try to think the order of things. Whatever. Genesis just decked him. I cast like 3 spells on him and fucking killed him. It's like, oh my god, that was incredible.
It's very easy to get overpowered in this
game. Yeah.
Let's see what else. I have not updated my GG list. I mean, even though it wasn't a 2022 game, Death's Door, right? Death's Door was a 2021, right?
Yeah.
Beat that in here.
It was my game of the year of 2021.
Same.
Listen, I forget. All right.
Rainbow Billy probably would have been in my top 5 if I would have played in 2021.
Really?
I'm trying to think about 2021, but
yeah.
And
Rainbow Billy kicked ass. All right.
I played most of this during December, but beat it in January. But I'm gonna call it on with Yakuza 0. What a fun time! Fucking finding out like more about Kiryu and Majima. Fucking great story. The story, oh my god,
it goes
fucking
places, man.
Hooked the shit out of me. I did not expect it. It was so good. I'm just sitting here, like if you know the Michael Jackson eating popcorn meme, that's just me the entire game. I'm just like,
yeah, yep.
All right.
It's like go ahead.
When people say like this is a crime drama, they fucking meant it.
I need to get back into it. I need to get back into Yakuza
It's incredible.
Because I had started 0 and it was like really, really loving it, and then it crashed like right after this long ass cutscene.
Oof.
Oh.
And it didn't save because I don't know that there's autosave at all in that game, or there probably is, but like it's just
0, like the phone
not
booth
in
or whatever?
0, I believe.
Yeah.
I just played Kiwami 1 and there was autosaves nearby. I don't think there is in 0.
Yeah, in 0 it literally crashed in like that transition from a super long cutscene back to gameplay. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I don't want to have to watch that over. Like I didn't feel like watching it over again right then, and so then I just like never went back to it.
You could just like set it on and then just walk away or whatever.
I think,
well, I'm gonna start it over now because they're all on PS Plus.
Yeah.
So I'd rather play on there than Xbox and PC because trophies. My brother, I went ahead of my brother, and then he started playing fucking Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and he's popping all these trophies, and it's pissing me off. All right, now he's ahead of me in trophy level.
A lot of trophies in Yakuza.
Yeah, just real quick in Yakuza. Did you play that side quest where it's the knockoff Michael Jackson and knockoff Steven Spielberg?
Yes, absolutely. One of the best ones, dude. One of the best ones.
Oh. It's really funny.
This shit that you discover in that game is just like one of the biggest reasons to go obviously explore is just to find the weird stuff. Like,
yeah.
I would like to correct something that I said earlier about Rainbow Billy.
Okay.
There's not a chance in hell that would have been in my top 5 last year. Never mind. Looking back at last year was great. Last year was great.
Yeah,
I think my top 2 games would have been like
something
probably 3 this year. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it for my honorable mentions, though.
My honorable mentions is going to start off with Witch Queen, which is technically not a game, so I didn't really put that on there, but it is a very large expansion to Destiny 2. It is the best story Destiny has told. Flat. Like, there have been great stories in Destiny, but this one outclasses all of them. And the revelations in there, the story beats, the actual gameplay was solid. I played on Legendary, and they have a Legendary campaign. With my brother, we played it. It took us like maybe 3 sessions, and we beat it, but like 3 chunky sessions, right? Like, it was a good campaign size, and it was the right length too. It didn't overstay its welcome. The Witch Queen, and it added, they added a bunch of new gameplay things, and it was just I don't know what they did with Void 3.0 and things like that. It made me care again about Destiny more in the story sense, right? More than just like a loot grind. And every season since then has just been, and even from a little bit before leading up to that, like the seasonal stuff has just been killing it. But that like punctuated it really well. I think that would probably be like my number 8 if I had to go. There was another one, I can't remember what the hell it was called. Citizen Sleeper was one of my honorable mentions. I played that. Really dug that game.
Didn't you play Ghost Song or something?
Yeah, Ghost Song was, I fell off of that one pretty hard, I will say. I like it, but I just it gets to the point where you aren't really rewarded as much for overcoming things, and it just didn't stick. I wanted to get to Cult of the Lamb. I've seen some good things about that.
Did you play that Narco game or whatever?
Yes, Norco was another one. I literally was just gonna say that. Oh, okay. Norco, incredible writing, absolutely incredible. And the world's the setting, and I don't know if Norco came out. That's what I mean. I don't know if it was like out this year or if it was like early access. Okay, yeah, then it's definitely, I think it's probably like my number 6. Like, the story is incredible in that game, and it's really it got me introspective, I suppose, in a way that no other game had done for a very long time. The writing is incredible. The way the characters are presented and the world is just so unique. Yeah, I think that one. What was it? Immortality is another shout out I wanted to put there. I haven't beaten it yet, and I was playing a little more over the break, but holy shit, this game, the performances, and it's a strange feeling because like it's like you're watching a movie but like a documentary, and you're skimming through these clips. You can click on like a person's face and it'll pull you to like a different clip entirely. Kind of like Inception, right? Where you're going inside a dream inside of a dream, right? And you made a face there, Sam. It was like
these types of games just are off-putting to me.
What
these like
it is a
what
little,
do they call them?
Like I'll say FMV.
Yeah,
but it's different than that in the way that they have you interact with the different clips and different things as you're unfolding the story of God, I can't remember her name, the main character, the lead in the movies and everything that they're showing. And it starts off with like her in a talk show, and then like they give you the controls to pause and then click on different things, and it goes over a good time span of like different movies and directors and things like that, of like basically her story and what happened to her, and you're trying to unravel. I haven't reached that part yet, but like the mystery behind her and like why she's like secluded, or why she was a hermit for a while and things like that. Yeah, I think the way that they set it up is kind of what's hooking me. You can click on like a table and it'll pull you to like another scene with that same table, but like it's a different setup. Like they're rehearsing their lines, or they're going over the script, or they're going, there's a private moment between the director and the cast and things like that. It is a very adult game, I will say. For anyone who is, I guess, I don't know, sensitive to that, right? It's definitely a very adult game. So just be wary of that. It's definitely worth your time though. The performances are incredible. Tinykin was another one that I had on there. Obviously really
how dare you not put that in your top 5?
Dude, it just didn't. I didn't finish, to be fair. I didn't finish that game. Like maybe if I had Metal Hellsinger, right? I mean, best rhythm game of the year. That probably hits my number 7. They didn't have rhythm games. There's not much competition, right? And I guess Trombone Champ was the other one that was that came out this year that people liked, but I didn't play it. So
Was Melody a memory this year or last year?
Dude, Gundam Evolution was one I wanted to put at my 8. Gundam Evolution. Number 9, I wanted to put Hard Space Shipbreaker. And this one has kind of a similar like theming to like Citizen Sleeper, where you're a contracted worker that's been cloned essentially. Like the part of you, they took all of your essence, right, to make infinite clones out of yourself that they charge you for, by the way. They charge you to do rebirth and stuff. So you're indebted to them, and then you're cutting up these things with like, I don't know, like a laser gun, right? You're cutting up these giant shipwrecks and things like that because it's pretty much like post-Earth. I don't know if it's post-Earth. I don't know exactly the time frame, but you cut up ships into big chunks and you sort them, and you have a gravity gun to pull them in and shoot them into different compartments and things like that. It's a great game. Obviously, you get penalized for like not meeting your daily quota of money and things like that, and it's interesting in that way. But the writing is something that carries it through, and like the way they set up the story. So those are probably the ones I'm going to say I have plenty of more, but those are the ones I wanted to touch on. So,
all right, let's get to our number ones, our games of the year. I know all 3 of them. They're going to be games that we've already talked about, but let's talk about them some more. My number 1 is God of War Ragnarok. What to say about this game without spoiling it, without giving away one of the bosses and showing 100% spoilers if you were paying attention earlier. But yeah, I just think it's it's a fully realized world that they've created, this Norse world. All the characters are like awesome. I don't think there's really a weak link of any of the characters in the game. Like all the performances, the music's great. Not better than Xenoblade 3 though. Eric talked about the pacing issues. I forgive those because every big game has pacing issues. Xenoblade 3 has pacing issues. I think every game that has open areas, I think, has pacing issues. Because of like all the side stuff you can do. But I do think they should have split this into 2 games. But that being said, story kicks ass. There's some really, really great story moments. The ending is incredible. I loved the ending of this game so much. What else? Oh, the boss fights. That's the like big step up from 2018 is the boss fights. They are awesome. Steven was showing one earlier. Which is one of my favorites in the game. Not my favorite. There's one later that is even cooler. And that one just spans like quite a bit. But yeah, there's some really good dope boss fights. I still would have. Well, no, because I think it fits in the story that there's not. It's very different than the originals. You're not killing the entire pantheon of maybe. You're not just like going and murdering literally everybody. There's a little bit more nuance to what's going on than the first game, than the original trilogy. But yeah, really like the boss fights. I think they're way more memorable than not even Troll number 2, than Blue Troll or Red Troll, even though there are trolls in this game. But the thing that really pushes over the top, so it's my favorite combat out of any game this year by like miles. I don't even think there's a game that comes close to it in terms of combat. Super satisfying. The Leviathan Axe is probably the most satisfying weapon to use out there, and can probably only be matched by the weapon you get in this game by another weapon you get in this game, which is also extremely satisfying. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about God of War Ragnarok. Let's go to Eric for his game of the year. And I wonder what it is.
All right. It's going to be extreme shock to everyone. My game of the year is Sonic Frontiers, baby.
Shut the fuck up.
All that fucking music is so great. All the fucking thing is
shut the fuck up. We don't need to do this. We don't need to extend this bit. Just move on.
I don't think you can hear it at all, but it can't take that music.
Nope. This is a bit. This is a bit. It's not as
Chain attack interrupting. Here we go. No, obviously it's fucking Xenoblade 3. I don't know if you guys heard that at all. I don't think it went through properly.
Nope, couldn't hear
it. Well, I guess that means my mic is doing its work. I had that all set up.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah, of course it's Xenoblade 3. Oh man, I'm kind of mad it didn't work. With a perfect bit. Yeah, of course, Xenoblade 3. Like, I'm not gonna stay too long on it now because you guys already talked about it to length. Chapter 5, oh my god, like you just fucking punched me to the heart, man. Like what the like I don't think I ever cried as hard for a video game as I did there. Like I'm just like, oh my god. And the ending again happened. The characters, I think it's the best party in any Xenoblade game. Like fucking that whole party I just fucking love. And you know me, I'm just a sucker for
miles. It's the best party.
Miles,
like, not even close to the like so much better than the party in the other two.
Oh my god. Yeah, like just guys like you're saying, like fucking the open world is so just like fun to explore. The side characters, the side quests are all they're the best they've ever been in Xenoblade. Story great. Fucking the culmination of 1 and 2, great. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say. You guys already covered it all. I don't want to go on too long because we're already getting pretty long in the tooth.
It's game of the year. Come on, we're good.
Game of the year.
Game of the year, baby.
Game of the year, baby. Give me the DLC, Nintendo. Where the fuck it's at? It's 2023 already.
Right. Oh shit, dude.
So Xenoblade 3, only game that made all 3 of our lists.
Yeah, technically game of the year for X Interact.
Yeah, so. Technically.
If you want to be, if you want to be technical about it. That might have to do with the fact that I didn't play Elden Ring and Steven didn't play God of War, but
true.
Yeah. And Gav probably played neither of all 3 of these games, so there you go. If he was here, then it probably wouldn't have mattered.
Maybe Halo Infinite would be his game of the year. Dear God.
Halo Infinite Forge update. Game of the year.
There we go. Hello. It's great. Forge is great. Yeah, all jokes aside, I think this is no surprise to anyone. My game of the year is Elden Ring. I don't know. Souls games have not typically been in my game of the years for pretty much any game of the year. But I'll be fucking damned if I wasn't going to say that this is my game of the year this year. I put 200 hours into this game now.
Yeesh.
Across 200? Different things. And probably more, to be frank here.
Them's are Skyrim numbers, dude.
Dude. You can play this game as long as you can Skyrim. It's just especially like, and this is one of the only games that I went right back in and did a new game plus, like ever. I don't typically ever do that. Usually by the time of like super long games, I'm burnt out. I just need a break. This one I'm like, all right, fuck yeah, let's go back in and destroy things, because you keep your gear for new game plus, and you go in and you can just wreck house. And
it sounds like it's just a revenge tour.
It is, and it's incredible.
You kicked my ass for 7 hours last playthrough. It's so
that was one of my favorite moments actually of Elden Ring, was going back in and being like, fuck you. And not only fuck you, but fuck your friend and your dog and your freaking cat over there that kills me like 5 times, you know? Yeah, no. It's just one of those things where it's just like, you've earned it at that point, and you're just like, okay, this is my reward for for the 100+ hours of struggle I did with all these bosses. Yeah, and then one more thing I wanted to touch on that we didn't mention in and I think before was the weapons, right? There's so many memorable weapons, and also the dragons. I'm not going to say what kind because that'll spoil, but like there's dragons and they feel like dragons because they kick your ass.
Now, wait, are they actually dragons or are they wyverns?
Oh, okay. You know what? I don't know the specific definition, sir.
The Skyrim question.
Yeah.
Skyrim debate.
Look, they breathe fire and they fly.
I never remember the difference, but I know that the ones in Skyrim are actually wyverns. But I can never remember. I think it's because they have 2 legs. Dragons have 4.
I think then these would be dragons.
Dragons definitely have 4, because the dragons in Dragon Age Inquisition are definitely dragons, and those have 4.
Yeah, dragons, I believe that these are of those variety. So, yeah.
So they're actual dragons.
Actual dragons. And there's I'm not going to say anything actually because that's a big spoiler. There's lots of spoilers in weird ways in this game. Things that, like, of course the bosses and some of the things that happen with the bosses are spoilers. However, like, there's like small, like, the way you can choose different paths and like the endings are so different, each of them. Like what they mean are different, right? Not exactly what happens to you as a personal character, but like what happens to the what happens in general in the world, to the world, right? With decisions you make. And let me tell you, there's some crazy shit that happens towards the latter half of that game that jaw-dropping moments that don't happen very often in open world games, but it happened to me so much in that game where I don't know. I can recall to you more moments in this game than probably any other open world game ever.
Now Steven is selling this game to me more than Eric was. Eric was like talking about how hard it was.
There's beauty and grandeur and mystery and exploration and intrigue in parts and like sorrow in other parts. Like it's just,
maybe I'll check it out one day.
Listen, I'm not a poet here, all right?
He has his strong suits, okay?
Not a poet.
I'll give to you straight.
Obviously, you haven't played enough Ghost of Tsushima. You don't have enough practice writing
calligraphy.
I
don't know, dude. At that point, yeah, it's just there. And what, like the Everjails are really cool. Like they're their own bespoke thing. The kind of I guess you won't see George R.R. Martin really in anything. I'll point that out. Like it's not overt that he's the one that like made world stuff and like created like the atmosphere. So
he should have been the final boss.
That would have been kind of funny, like a secret boss or something. And you beat him and he finishes that book that he's been working on.
Maybe in DLC.
He's never gonna finish that book.
He's never gonna finish the book. The truth is he doesn't have the ending and he can't figure it out.
He still has 2 books left.
Yeah, he's just like
he hasn't finished this book, and then he's supposed to be writing another book. Like you still got 2 books left in Game of Thrones. That's why I refuse to read them until he actually finishes.
Dude,
I'm not getting invested until he finishes.
All I'm gonna say, and one last thing I will say is, fuck Millennia. That's all. And that is why Elden Ring is the game of the year for me.
Hashtag fuck Melanie. Or sorry, Melania.
Dude,
well,
what a year.
What a year of video games indeed. Next week is going to be our, God willing that we are able to get everybody together. It's going to be our
right.
fantasy critic, with no technical difficulties. Is going to be our fantasy critic draft, and we're doing a little bit differently this year. We're going to be teaming up with Neon Pocket Dimension.
Oh, yeah.
Friend of the show, Jacob's podcast. We've had him on a couple times. So we're gonna have those boys on, as well as Kino Mega, who we've had on before as well. And we're gonna be teaming up. There's gonna be what,
teaming up,
four teams.
Teaming. You guys have to make it so complicated.
What? No, we're 4 teams.
Yeah, four teams.
Because 8's way too many for a fantasy critic.
Ooh, we didn't have to do 8. We just had to do 2. Neon Pocket versus Next Dragon.
No, because two isn't enough. 2 isn't enough. And there's 4 of us and only 3 of them. We're teaming up.
True.
Doing 4 teams of 2. It's gonna be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be pure chaos.
It's gonna be great.
Gonna be hopefully 8 of us next week on here. If not, at least 1 representative from each team.
Yep.
Also, you forgot to mention that it's it's not gonna be like, oh, two people partner with 2 people on their podcast with someone else on their podcast. No, you're partnering with someone else on the other podcast.
It's just random teams.
I think that's more fair though. Come on.
Yeah, it's more fun that way, you know.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be fun time. So I'm looking forward to that. I still have to go through and set all that up. So
I still gotta find a teammate.
Next week, baby. Next week. Fantasy Critic 2023 draft. Looking forward to it. But that's all that we got for this week. That's all we got for this week. But yeah, tune into that next week on twitch.tv/xturneract. If you want to tune in live, it will be at, I believe we're doing noon next week. Eastern time.
Yep.
Instead of 11. But yeah, tune into that next week.
You mean our normal time?
Yeah.
What's that?
So you mean our normal time?
Essentially, it will be our normal. Essentially, it will be our normal time. Yeah, tune into that next week. If you're listening and want to find us elsewhere, you can go to Twitter, you can go to Instagram, you can search up Xturneract. We'll be there. If you want to find all our links in one easy, accessible area, you can go to podpage.com/Xturneract. Everything you'll need and more is there. And check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Xturneract. We'll be putting up some fun videos. I got a video I'm working on that it goes into more just giving out super real awards to games, celebrating the year that was 2022 in video games. That'll be coming out in the next few days. Hopefully I'll have it done by Friday. But yeah, until next time, thank you for watching.